Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to another episode of Ruminating with Riki. In this one, I want to talk about something that I learned as of this recording last weekend, but for you guys it's probably going to be a week and a half, 2 weeks ago when you watch it. So I'll just say I want to share something I learned roughly 2 weeks ago. I was given the once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get special access to a music festival that was run by some of my favourite musicians. And for those of you that are interested, it was Morsefest 2024. That's M-O-R-S-E Fest, Morsefest 2024, featuring the Neil Morse Band. And the guys in this band, just for context, have played in other bands such as Avenged Sevenfold, Transatlantic, Flying Colours, Dream Theater. That last one's probably... I'd say that's probably the bigger. I don't know. Is Dream Theater bigger than Avenged Sevenfold? I don't know. Maybe. Slightly different audience. But anyway, those are the bands that these guys have been associated with in the past. And the experience I got to have was one that you couldn't have paid for. There were VIP tickets available for this event, and they were expensive. And even those tickets couldn't have provided someone with the access that I had. So basically, I was invited to be part of the setup crew for this gig, and that meant I had access to all backstage areas, all of the staff areas, including the band dressing room. So, you know, the band themselves, I had access to them if I wanted to. I could just walk straight in there with those guys if I so chose. I didn't, but I could have. So that kind of sets the scene, I suppose. And for 4 days, that was what I was experiencing. That was what was available to me. And that's why, for me, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I really, really do mean that. I mean, it's... I don't think this is ever going to happen for me again, personally. So I took the time to drink it all in. And heading into the weekend, I was excited about meeting musicians that I had admired for years. And I mean, my dad first introduced them to me, and that was over 10 years ago. So for 10 years, I had been listening to these guys, loving their music, and that over that time, I had assigned the celebrity tag to these guys. And I think we all know what that means. We all know what that feels like, and each of us will have something or somebody that we have assigned the celebrity tag to. And for me, that tag came with thoughts, certain thoughts and certain feelings, and thoughts like they must be different to me, and you know, they must experience life different to me. They must be different to me in some way because they're celebrity, you know, and all this stuff. So that was what was going through my mind as I was, you know, driving south on my way to the setup. So I arrived at the venue late on a Wednesday evening, and I arrived during a sound check. So I walked into the venue, and all the band members were there on stage in front of me, just doing their thing, and I felt giddy excitement because, you know, suddenly you've gone from, the experience I had was I'd had a terrible journey there. What should have taken 2 hours and 20 minutes took like 3.5, 4 hours because there were multiple accidents. And, you know, we've all sat in traffic and regular life driving. So I've gone from regular life for me to suddenly just walk in a door, bam. There are these people. It's just like sudden switch, like doof. There we were, and they were all on stage in front of me, giddy excitement, and it felt surreal. For a moment, it really felt surreal, because these were my personal celebrities. So anyway, the sound check ended, and that meant, you know, the guys just put the guitars down, walked away from the keyboards and all that sort of stuff, and they just started to mingle with the folks that were already there, setting up all the technical stuff that a gig needs. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous when I went to speak to one of them that I totally forgot to introduce who I was. So from their point of view, there was just this random British guy talking to them who didn't even state their name. So yeah, nice nice one, Josh. Well done. And for me, that is where I hit the ceiling of what I would call my celebrity fever. The band left, and at that point, it was still Wednesday. I just cracked on with what needed to be done in the venue, helping out where I could. So Thursday rolls around. I'm still doing what I need to do to help, and lunchtime arrives. So I grab a plate of food, turn around, and I spot the drummer is just sitting alone at a table. And so I plucked up the courage, and I just went and sat down next to him. My dad joined us. One of the lighting techs joined us. And the conversation naturally just started to flow. And we talked about various albums the drummer had played on. We talked about various venues that the drummer had played in. And the sort of finer details of what it takes to play in these venues that you don't often hear about, because only those in the business would know. And so, saying this now, I can take a step back and say that I sat next to Mike Portnoy and had lunch. And if you're into progressive rock or metal, then that name might ring a bell. And you want to know something? These high-flying thoughts that I had, these personal expectations I had of this celebrity figure of mine, were completely misplaced, because as we started to eat our lunch together, in that moment I realized he is no different to me. He's no different to any of us. He's just here, sitting down, eating lunch with everybody else. He's drinking the same Costco bought water that I'm drinking. Nothing fancy, nothing special. And in this moment, there is absolutely nothing different about him compared to me. So I thought, well, if it's true for this moment in time, then why is it not true for any other moment in time? When the performance nights came around, so that was lunch on Thursday, Friday and Saturday were the performance nights. So the Friday came around, and I was backstage, and the duty I had was opening the secure door so the band could come into the venue, just to make sure that no other random people just walked in. I was there to just make sure it was secure, basically. And this meant that I got to see the preparations of the band just before they went on stage. And for me, the most touching moment was on the first night. The lead singer, Neil, he was getting mic'd up, and he turned to Mike, and I forget word for word what he said, but he expressed his immediate feeling about literally just about to go on stage. So, within 10 seconds of them having this moment, they were on stage, boom, lights were on, off they go. And what I witnessed was, I watched the two of them have a moment in which Mike hugged Neil and put his mind at ease just before going out, and then the lights came up and on they went. There was no amount of money, no ticket I could have bought to the event that would have given me access like this. And it might sound ridiculous, but these international music stars feel the same things that I do. They feel the same things we all do. I mean, Neil he's sung his album, he's performed, he's sung all over the world. And that's not an exaggeration. He has. All of these guys have performed all over the world, and yet here he is, just having such a down-to-earth moment with another guy. And for me, it was like this. It hit me. It really, really hit me, and I was able to understand something that I'd overheard them talking about earlier, which was being starstruck makes for awkward encounters. And when I first heard them say that, I thought, I don't know if I understand that. And with this being Friday and me having my own starstruck moment on Wednesday, I understood what they meant, and my own ability to see the band, these guys, as just people, you know, if I'd been starstruck in that moment, I would have ruined it for myself, because my memory would have been, oh, they're amazing. It's like, no, it's just calm down. Everyone just, you know, everyone slow down. And I got to witness two people connecting, and it's completely changed my perception of what celebrity is. And I always thought that these people that I'd assigned the celebrity tag to were superior to me, and I had no place or right to speak to people that were so highly elevated. But looking at it now, it really is all nonsense. It's all absolute nonsense. And by the end of the last night, Saturday night, the crowds had gone, the fans had got their photos and autographs and all that stuff. The VIP folks had had their time with the band. And when it came down to just the end of the evening and everything else, the band came back in to pack up their keyboards, their guitars, all that stuff, all their personal items. And in that moment, I took everything I'd learned and I just took a step back, and I realized that here we are, all of us. No one in this room is greater than anyone else. We're all the same. We're all here packing up in the same way. We all ate the same food. We all drank the same water. We all used the same bathroom, you know. And again, there was absolutely no difference between me and these guys. And for me, it's really changed the way I view famous people. And it doesn't matter who they are. It could be Eminem, it could be Ed Sheeran, you know, Taylor Swift. Insert your name, your name here. They're just people, and they have the same wants and desires as I do. And you know, yeah, we see them elevated on the screen, and folks pay huge amounts of money to get special VIP access to these events. But when it's behind closed doors, when the show is dropped, when everything is dropped, there is no difference between them and me. The whole celebrity status just vanishes. It absolutely vanishes. And I got to witness the raw element of humanity that is in them and me. And that's what makes us who we are. So the real takeaway for me was, we're really no different to each other. It doesn't matter who it is. Me, you, people that I look up to, people that you look up to. At the end of the day, when the show's over, when the lights are off, all of us, every single one of us, is exactly the same. And that realization for me made it so much easier to talk to these guys, because I wasn't putting them on a pedestal. I was just talking to them like, hey, you know, how are you? Did you sleep well last night? You know, you must be jet lagged, that sort of thing. It's just, we're all the same. We're all on the same level. And I think we could all do with not overdoing things. You know, sometimes we overdo things. We put people on pedestals when really they're no different to you, and they're no different to me. And that is what I learned at this festival, and I wanted to pass that on. I wanted to share that, because sometimes when we do put people on pedestals, when we do have expectations, it can be that, well, first of all, they can be misleading, and they can lead to us feeling let down when whoever it is doesn't meet our expectations. They're just people. We're all just people. We're all the same. We all have the same wants and desires. It was an incredibly eye-opening experience for me, and it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that I'm never going to forget. So there you go, guys. That is all I have for this one. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, if not a dislike. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.